playing all the parts in that clip, aren't you?
It's surprising just how much you can do with so little.
Yes, but you added a bit, didn't you?
I did add a bit for the drummer, yeah, we had a week for the drummer, but it was quite fun actually, sort of going in there to the hairdresser and saying, now come on, just make it look more, you know, so it's sort of all down the front, my football manager impersonation, playing the keyboards, and the Michael Caine impersonation, playing the bass.
That's your favourite one, isn't it, Michael?
It is, yeah, I think it's one of those characters that you see in Freddie and the Dreamers, Jerry and the Pacemakers. They all had a character like that with very thick rimmed glasses. It's good fun.
Of course, you were sort of around with all those people in those days too, weren't you?
Watching them, yeah. I was only 14, 15, I suppose. I mean, I was 12 when the robbery happened. But I was, yeah, all through the 60s I was listening avidly to that stuff and learning to play the drums at the same time.
But let's get back to sort of the part of Buster. You actually described this role as the biggest gamble of your career. What actually influenced you to take the part?
Well, I'd just done a Miami Vice episode, and when I was a teenager, I had done some acting already, and I didn't enjoy it particularly, so I said I'd never do it again, because the last thing I did was a film, a children's film, and I fell out with the director. So, anyway, I said I'd never do it again, so Miami Vice came along, gave me a part, and I really enjoyed it, you know, and it was different from what I remember it being when I was a kid, so I said to my manager, if there's any good scripts around, I would love to have a go. Not wishing to be a star in the first film I did, but just have a crack at it, really. Anyway, he sent me some scripts that he'd been receiving, and I didn't really like them. And then Buster came along, and I read that, and because it was a true story, Julie Walters was going to be in it, it was a real character, I read it, and I thought, I could do this. It was the 60s, you know, I could be an adult in the 60s instead of being a kid.
Yeah.
The wonderful world of film, you know, you can pretend. And I just went for it, and it was a gamble, I suppose, in as much as rock and roll musicians haven't got a great track record in films. Some are better than others. So it was a gamble, sort of just getting people to take you seriously. But I'm very pleased I did it. I mean, I'm going to do more, definitely.
Oh, it's a terrific film. I saw it the other day, but we'll talk more about it later because we'll go to a quick commercial break and we will come back and have a chat with you about the role of Buster and how you sort of created it. Back in a tick.
Sales, no specials, just good honest prices all year without the hype. Set of 5 airtight storers, $5. Barbecue flares, $3. 20-piece dinner sets, $25. Pedalos, $20. Suitcases, extra large, $35. Large, $30. Medium, $25. Small, $20. Cheap as chips. Morford Vale, Brighton, Glenelg, Glynde, Modbury, and now open at Craigmore Village Shopping Centre, Craigmore.
Come wash day, Dave wouldn't lift a finger until he found the pegs. The fumes from that pre-wash stain remover really used to get up his nose. Until he changed to Charge, the powerful stain remover without the awful smell. Dave was delighted. Extra strength Charge removes tough stains. And after a while, he even discovered a new use for the pegs. Charge, mighty powerful stain remover that doesn't get up your nose.
When you buy goods that aren't made in Australia, your money leaves the country forever. But when you buy goods with this symbol, Australian made, your money stays in Australia. And that's good for all of us. Buy Australian made.
Phil Collins and I are having a bit of a chat at the moment. We're talking about his new film, Buster, of which he plays the lead. Great little movie, and Buster is a very interesting little character. I mean, was it difficult playing someone who's still alive?
Well, only, I suppose, in as much as you can talk to him afterwards and see what he thought of it. I suppose that's a little bit intimidating. But
what did he think of it?
He said I got him down to a T, actually, which, I mean, he didn't have to say, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if someone palmed his hand with silver, but he did say that, apart from the fact that in Mexico, in fact, throughout the whole film, he was a much sharper dresser than me. But I think in the film, you characterise people a bit more. I mean, like in Mexico, for instance, you see me with my trousers rolled up, socks on, sandals on the beach, you know, getting very burnt. Which sounds funny now, but then English people never travelled. I mean, the world is a small place now. In '63, it was a huge place and took 15 hours to get across the Atlantic or whatever.
Okay.
So, and English people, working class people, they went to Bognor or Brighton or Blackpool for their holiday. So they didn't, Buster wouldn't have liked spicy food. He wouldn't have known to wear shorts and suntan oil and all that.
Actually, there's a great scene when you get off the plane, and the two of you sort of go, "Oh my dear."
The great thing is that Julie, Julie Waters plays June. Her first line, in Mexico is come out. She says, "I've never seen anything as beautiful," and it's the airport. It's only the airport. I mean, they haven't seen anything.
But actually, let's get back to a few years ago when the first role that you actually played in a film was the Artful Dodger in Oliver, and that was made about the same time as the Great Train Robbery was originally committed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the musical that I was in, which is on the West End, in the West End, that was it started in '60, it ran for about 8 years, and I was in it in '64. So
It was the year after.
yeah, just as it was all happening. I mean, I collect Giles cartoons. I don't know if you know Giles, Daily Express.
No, I don't.
He's a daily cartoonist, used to be in Giles, and it's great to look back at the 50s and the 60s because he was doing cartoons about the Great Train Robbery as it was all happening. And I collect all those, and it's great to look back on them because it was all happening. At that time, '63 was a big year for the Beatles, Kennedy.
Oh, huge, wasn't it?
Train robbery.
I mean, it was fantastic to grow up in that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that Julie Walters was playing the part of your wife, June, did that actually sort of clinch the deal for you? To sort of, because I mean, she's known very well here for her roles in Educating Rita and also Personal Services. She's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will become, I never met her, we've become great friends. I mean, she lives about a mile or two down the road from where I live now. So her and her boyfriend and new baby, and me and the wife, we're all very close. It's because you get this little family that you build up when you do a film. And it's very easy to just go your own ways and never see each other again until you come together professionally. But I've made sure that I've stayed in touch with some people on this film because it was so enjoyable. But when I said I'd do the film, they said, well, Julie Walters might be doing June. I said, well, if she doesn't do June, I might not be quite as interested. Although I would have done it, I think. But I just wanted to, put a bit of pressure on the film people to cement that deal with her because there was other actresses mentioned that were great actresses. But Julie, I've just been a fan of such a long time, and she's such a good actress. I mean, a lot of people know her as a comedian, but she's really a great actress.
And you look so good together too. Actually, we've got a scene of you here, which is more of a dramatic part of the scene. Yeah. We'll have a look at it now, and then we'll come back and have a chat.
Okay.
Listen to her. Just listen to her. You are not in England now. You must wait your turn.
But, for God's sake, you mean you can get out of here? Just go away.
Don't be stupid, Jim.
We're not being stupid, Buster. You better approach as it's got to second place. I mean, I've had a illness. Took the old way out. You upsetting the doctor as well.
Oh, I don't even know my bleeding fault. Who's I do it for? Who was it you two, eh? You were the one that was always on about having that.
How would you actually describe the film, particularly that scene? That was when you actually were in Mexico, wasn't it?
Actually, that scene was done in Harefield Hospital in London.
You're kidding?
Well, they wouldn't let us do a scene like that in Mexico because of the censors. You see, we sort of say it's a godforsaken place, awful dump. Why did you bring me here? And not Australia.
Where are you?
The Mexican Tourist Board wouldn't let us say that, so we had to do that scene in England with all painted on sweat and sort of. I don't know to dispel any myths, but. They sort of spray on the sweat and it was all body makeup. I mean, every time I'm brown in the film, it's all body makeup. They wouldn't let me get brown.
Because even when you were really red at one stage, I thought that was a real...
No, they wouldn't let me get brown because it's all continuity. I mean, like they do the first day you get to Mexico or something like that, you do the first day shooting. And then you don't do the evening of the first day until 3 weeks later. So you've got to stay pale the whole trip. And it's 90 degrees outside and everybody else is like this, getting brown,
And you're so envious.
under an umbrella, So.
Do you think you'd do another film with Julie?
I'd love to. I mean, she's already done one film and she's doing another one already. But, I think we are a believable couple. And I mourn the loss, of those studio days when you had Tracy and Hepburn, you had Cary Grant and whoever, You had certain couples that went around from plot to plot. And you believed them, the best they were great together and they were good, good chemistry. And I think her and I got good chemistry, and I would like to do more with her. It's just a question of getting the script and, waiting.
Yeah. There were some funny scenes in the film, I believe, behind the scenes. What about the one when you had the beard on walking along the dock?
Well, being a newcomer to this sort of area, I kind of, when something's really working well, I can't help but sort of laugh. And there's one scene on the docks with me and Larry Lamb, who plays Bruce Reynolds, and we were walking along, and it was one of those things where it was so good. but I couldn't stop from laughing, you see. But I had this beard on, and it's weird because when you got a beard off, maybe it's just a false beard, but you can't see your mouth underneath. So it's quite fortunate because I was actually, you know, sort of trying to sort of suppress the laughter because it was so good, not because it was funny, but just because I just thought, God, he's so good, this guy. He's really happening, you know. It was great fun.
What about the time when you actually had to be tutored to be sick in that scene where you were sick?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, it wasn't so much tutored, but the stuff you know, you have to sort of eat this stuff, which is only mayonnaise and, you know, potato salad and sort of diced carrots. But, you know, you have to put as much as you can in your mouth. And I like potato salad and all that stuff, but when you know what it's supposed to be, it sort of tastes a bit different, you know. And I was sort of trying to swallow it, trying to keep it in my mouth. And, oh, there we are. And so reliving it.
Put enough in there so that you actually eventually had to get rid of it.
We actually thought about that scene quite hard. I mean, did we want to see Buster be sick? Because there's something about people being sick that's not very elegant.
That's right.
But we went for it because I thought it was something I hadn't done before on screen, and I thought it was time that people saw me be sick.
Well, Buster wasn't really all that sophisticated anyway, was he?
No, I think he thinks he's more sophisticated than maybe he is.
Yeah, there's another good scene that actually I'm going to show in a film review that I do at the movie tomorrow. But getting back to the movie and the music, initially you decided not to be involved in the music, did you? Why is that?
Just because I thought people would take the acting more seriously if they didn't hear me sing, and I think that's true. They would have done, or I mean, fortunately, most reviews all over the world have said that I've come up all right in the part, you know. But I think it was a gamble, and as much as people have said, well, you know, they watch the film, they hear my voice, they say, oh yes, it's Phil Collins, a singer trying to act. And I didn't want that. I wanted people to just think of me as an actor and just also keep the career separate, so they didn't cross over. But Lamont Dozier, who wrote all the Holland Dozier and Holland stuff, you know, with the Holland brothers for Motown in the 60s, I got him involved with the music because I didn't want to do it. And then he wrote a couple of songs which I loved that needed words, and then I got involved because I wanted to write the words.
You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't help myself. So in the end, I got involved, and it hasn't hurt the film at all, obviously. But
it's a great song. It's really good.
I would, you know, approach any film that I do with that premise that I don't do the music.
Well, I'm glad you did this time. I think everyone else is too. I think everyone's going to enjoy the film. Thanks for joining us this morning, Phil, and enjoy the rest of your stay here. It's been lovely having you here.